I just realized I had my mic off. Jeez. Okay, so I found out what it was that caused it. Apparently my Wi-Fi got messed up, and because I run a college Wi-Fi, so I had to switch to my phone's personal hotspot, and so it should be better now. I'm gonna check. Okay, I think yes, it should be doing better. Hold on. Let's go into here. Go ahead and switch to videos. And so let's copy the link to this and put it into the description of this video. Now we got that done. Now we can resume. So, Flumpty Night, normal night, Flumpty Night. So, we don't even go to hard boiled mode yet. That means that's gonna suck. Okay, he didn't even say it was his turn. That's a bit creepy. So, we gotta wait. Alright. Let's check on him. Yeah, he's still progressive. You killed all these things, man. Why would you do that? That is not cool. And he's dead again. Oh, okay, there's the second one as well. Wait, when does the third one spawn? I just realized. Okay. Those cameras aren't even there yet, so it should be fine. Okay, so we'll go to here. Okay, it's 2 a.m. Oh, no, never mind, the cam things went back up. My bad. And the spider thing's going back. So, this is gonna be a pain. I should be able to check the chat again now. Okay, now I can see it. Man. This is getting hectic. Okay, now these are ended. Okay. So we got him. Stay away. Okay, so we wait a bit. Okay, it's 1 a.m. Good. Okay, yep, they just swapped again. Oh great, now we got the guy with the patience. Do we shut the door now? I think we do. Okay. Okay, he's gone. Oh. 3 with 1 stone. Oh, okay. Wait, he just went back. Oh, jeez. Come on, man. Come on, man. Where'd he go? Okay, switch to here. And go back. You're kidding me. That's... Nope. I should have been watching his patience. Probably best I close that. We still got time. Alright, and go back. Alright. Okay. Oh, it wouldn't let me flash. Stay away. Of course. Of course we gotta do that. Alright, check. Quick, go check the doors. Dude! You serious? Alright. Quick. Heat up. Okay. So yeah, we gotta keep an eye on his patience. Yeah. Gotcha. Build up heat. Okay, we can build up more heat. And wait, check here. Oh, you'd almost get. You thought you'd get me. Oh. Oh, you think you're sneaky. Alright. What? Okay, turn that on. Come on.
Welcome to Flumpty Bumpties, it's your time to beat the egg and leave this place behind. Your brain is feeling scrambled, the end is out of sight, but if you hold on longer, you might survive the night.
It's Funky Bunky. It's Funky Bunky. It's Funky Bunky.
Okay, what was that? What got me? He came from the door on the right. Oh man, I couldn't even. Okay, so you have to use your flash. So there's a moment where he's not on the cameras. Okay. If I die one more time, I likely might just skip this and go to the commentary thing and the fan-made 1 week Flumpties thing. Because I did hear that thing is still ongoing. And I am kind of curious to see how that goes. Alright. Come on, man. Because if I don't beat it this stream, I might try to beat it in my spare time. Or I might try and record myself doing, like, not as a live stream, just as a video on its own. Oh man. Come on. Okay, now there's that dude. 3 flunkies. So many of them keep coming in as the hours go by, man. Okay, now we got these things. Stay away so don't go to it. Leave. Yes, he left. Okay, so I think I was doing his the wrong way. I think I'm supposed to, like, wait till he's off that camera to shut the door. I think that's one of the things that was messing me up. Yeah, so as long as we see him on cam 8B, we should be fine. Okay, now we got the one with the patients. Let's go back. Okay, now we can't see him, so we then shut the door. I believe. I'm hoping I got that right. So let's wait for him to. Yeah, it's supposed to stay away. Okay. I forgot about that. That's another thing you need to watch out for. Yeah. Heat up. Okay, he's in that one now. Okay, now he's messing with the settings again. Missed me. Okay, so now he's. It can't make me still, but now in a different spot. Okay, so far so good. Now let's heat up. Okay. Guess you stay away. There we go. Okay. Okay, what did I miss this time? Was it the right again? Oh, the center door. Oh, I forgot about the flash. Alright, that was a pretty interesting one. But yeah, I failed. I might not be able to beat this on stream. So yeah, that's probably... So, but that's not the end of the stream though. Don't worry. We've still got some more stuff. Like this, for example. And let's make sure it runs. What the? Why is it displaying like that? Okay, that's not right. Here, let's fix this. There we go. So, this is 1 week at Flumpty's fan-made version 0.82 extended demo. And as far as I know, that came out 3 years ago. And there's a oh wait, hold on. I just realized I got the wrong one open. There's a more up-to-date one. My bad. Let's go ahead and download that real quick. Actually, I think I might have an idea for something else to do real quick. So, let's go over the, I think we can go over the commentary one now. And check my chat again. Yeah, so now we're going to be going over a commentary on the game. So, let's get pulled up. And so I will turn on the thing right here. There we go. And now we've got holes. And I need to be sure I can make this run right. Alright, let's go to display. That's not what I want. I just said that is not what I want. So let's remove that. I need to be sure I can make this work. Or, you know what? I think for now we can just do the display like this for now. So, yeah, we're going to be watching the commentary video on One Night at Flumpty's 3. This was uploaded by the same creator of the game, Jonochrome. And, yeah, let's just get right into it.
Disclaimer. Instead of this video being a pure developer commentary over gameplay footage like the ones made for the first 2 games, it will be a fully edited video essay in which I spend most of it talking about the development of One Night at Flumpty's 3. This video will contain spoilers and viewer discretion is advised.
Don't worry, we've already played that game.
About 13 years ago now, on the forum I used to frequent, I invented an imaginary user with the name Popular Guy, and the running gag was that every message this user posted would receive at least a dozen upvotes, regardless of what it said. I had to find the
Okay, that's funny. What's the worst game? Popular Guy. What's the worst game to come out this year? Your mom. Jeez. That is harsh.
an avatar for this character I invented, and on a whim, I did an image search for Humpty Dumpty, I'm not really sure why, and found this, which it turns out is from a bit on The Muppet Show. I couldn't tell you why this image worked so well for Popular Guy, but the joke was well received, and I wouldn't be surprised if it left an impression on me that subconsciously led to Flumpty Bumpty years later, who I similarly invented on a whim as a joke. It never would have occurred to me that his popularity would grow to the degree that it has today.
I mean, to be fair, you made something that was like ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous. So, how can, and the internet eats that up. So, how can you not expect for people to be into it?
One Night at Flumpty's 3, for me, is the end of a very long joke that took on a life of its own. I've made no secret of the conflicting feelings I've had about this goofy little series,
Oh, right, I forgot about
but
this.
I know I'm not alone when I say it's a rough feeling when your most successful creation, or at least one of them, is...
I declare that this is the canonical death of Flumpty. I will not make anything else in any way related to Flumpty unless I accept a rare commission involving the Flumpty character or associated characters. I also will not utilize a creative outlet like animation, game development, or YouTube videos. Make anything else related to FNAF except under the same specific commissioning conditions. Flumpty will not be an Easter egg in my future games or other projects. Games using artwork of any of the Flumpties I worked on are not permitted. If a game is made using my series art or burnt, the game will be reported and deleted. I also plan to either ignore or mute all questions and commands about Flumpty until further notice. This is my limit. I'm finally, well, cracked. Jeez. As much as I'm grateful for the response the One Night Flumpty series received, it's so frustrating that when people see the name Jonachrome, their whole focus is that on my silly short-term parody side game series. I don't care how original or high quality they are. They're still fan games. I don't want to be the best fan game developer ever. I'd rather be known as a real game developer. Keep moving forward. Jonachrome. Flumpty's death in August 2015, no longer canon. Flumpty Bumpty 2014 to 2015, cracked from a great fall and lost his immunity to the plot. He cannot be put back together again. Little Humpty Dumpty gag. But to be honest, I can get what he's saying, sort of. Like, if you make something that you're not normally proud of, but your fan base is passionate to the extent of like you feel like you have to keep going and then eventually at some point you just end up giving. You don't want that as a developer because that's honestly terrible.
something you didn't put your heart into. I made the first game in about 3 weeks to practice software I'd never used before. Not only was it a test parody game based on a series I really only had a passing interest in about 5 years ago, its cast is entirely made up of characters most people seem to have more passion about than I do. A lot of artists refer to their original characters as...
Wait, hold on, what the? This dog in the One Night Flumpty's 3 office is my friend Cover's dog. Go check out @Cover Hyphen. He's a passionate comic artist with many original characters who could use more attention. I'll check it out at some point.
their children because of how much love and care they put into them, and I definitely feel that way about some of my own characters.
In fact, hold on. I'll put that in the VC, or no, in the live chat. And boom. There we go.
Characters. But I've never had that experience with Flumpty or Blam or the others. For me, they're just kind of a means to an end. All of this is to say, when I found Scott Cawthon's email about the Fazbear Fanverse initiative in my trash folder, the reason it was there at all is because I had filters in place to automatically delete emails about Flumpty and FNAF, because I had no expectations of doing anything with either of them again. In fact, I had also deleted all the source files for the first 2 games, which made it more difficult when I had to remove all the copyrighted material from them for the official releases because somebody had to decompile the games for me, and after that the only way for me to edit the images was to draw over them. So that was fun. I joined the initiative because of course, one last game to tie up loose ends for the fans and for myself would make the whole thing more special. So I got started, and this is going to sound strangely familiar, but I started with a dream I had. A few years back, probably about 4 years ago now, 3 or 4, I don't know exactly, I had a dream about a hypothetical third Flumpty game that took place in an empty cabin on a mountain with a blizzard outside. On each of the 4 walls of this cabin was a wide open door Flumpty and Blam would sometimes appear behind, and just looking at them was enough to make them vanish back into the storm. If I had directly translated the stream into game form, the gameplay would have been garbage, because all you'd have to do is spin around in a circle and you'd win.
So, I'm guessing this is where the concept of the third game takes place, where you're freezing. If so, that's a pretty good idea. Oh, so what the heck happened? Keep. Keep. There.
Still, I liked the idea of a real third game taking place in a freezing cold environment, so I made the office a freezer and turned the temperature into a mechanic.
Well, what the? The freezing up sound effect was made by editing the sound to be popping my knuckles. Oh. So this is what happens when you let it run out. When you let the temperature go all the way down. This is what happens. You freeze up. And I'm guessing that means you can't move. Which makes sense. Honestly, you're frozen. What are you going to do?
In hindsight, I realize the furnace is pretty similar to the music box in FNAF 2, which I have some reservations about, but my hope was that it would feel like a safe zone for the player at first, and then I would introduce a mechanic which shows that not even the one safe zone is truly safe, like any good horror. I knew early on
That's where
that I
that
wanted to
came
bring
from.
back the whole gang from the first 2 games without introducing any new characters, because this final game is sort of their curtain call. I briefly tried to work in the blind monster I left out of Flumpty's 2, but it didn't fit this time either. It would have felt forced, and it was simply not meant to be. The reason
Except
Empty
for that.
Bempty is not in the game, by the way, is because by the time I announced the game, it was actually already finished, and I just made it sound like it hadn't been started yet because I wanted to give Click Team more time for the ports without people complaining. I don't know, it took a long time anyway. Either way, Empty
14
Bempty was
months.
added to the first game after the third one was already finished, and it was just meant to be a little bonus anyway, nothing really important. Blam, as is tradition, is pretty neutral. He follows a path to the office, and you know he's about to enter when he has the Kevin Jr. pose. Golden Flumpty has always been a reference to Golden Freddy, who is a hallucination. Turning him into a hallucination like the ones in FNAF 3 just made sense in my head. Someone
Not
had to
bad.
come out of the furnace, and the Red Man seemed like the obvious choice because he's associated with fire and lava, although the idea of having him teleport through a portal in the wall was sort of carried over from the Grunkfist portals in the cancelled 1 Week at Flumpty's plans. Several things were carried over from those plans, one of the most obvious things being the snapshot camera, which I repurposed for use in the office instead of the security cameras because I wanted to force players to use the monitor to determine when a character is right outside, and lighting up the darkness in front of you with a flash of light just seemed like a cool way of fending them off. When balancing the game, I felt like there needed to be more of a reason to make every snapshot deliberate, which is why if you flash the light at Grunkfist the Impatient Clown, he attacks you unlike the other characters. It also worked.
Something I found out the hard way. Also, that just said it was early footage? Oh, yeah. Because there's infinite... There's over 100 number of snapshots you can take, and the thermostat is upside down. Oh, I didn't even notice that fist that's going up. All it takes is... Oh, come on. I just noticed the fist right here. You're not brave enough to put the middle one up? Come on, dude.
Grunkfist the Impatient Clown, he attacks you unlike the other characters. It also worked out well because the room Grunkfist comes out of this time is an exhibit for clown art, which is an idea I was rather happy with, and it makes sense for an art exhibit to have a sign prohibiting flash photography. There
Yeah.
was no way I couldn't bring back both the beaver and the owl this time, but one thing I didn't want to carry over from the cancelled one-week plans was the toilet paper mummy beaver idea, because I knew everybody would be expecting that, and I was right. I also tried to find a way to implement both characters separately without their mechanics being identical, because having every character behave in a unique way is just my preference, but nothing I came up with felt natural. I eventually had the idea to kill off the owl like I killed off the beaver, and combine the corpses of these two functionally
Wait, the beaver also died?
owl like I killed off the beaver,
Ripped the beaver, fell in the toilet. Oh, that explains why we didn't see him in the first game. Okay.
and combine the corpses of these two functionally very similar
The beav owl. Oh.
characters into one twisted-looking chimera, which felt nice and spooky and didn't sacrifice gameplay. I think Eyesore,
Oh, look at the jump scare in that thing,
which
dude.
felt nice and spooky and didn't sacrifice gameplay.
Jeez. One's an owl claw. Another one is a knife. I remember seeing the beaver had, like, knives on its feet. So, now seeing it has, like, hands. Like, for a hand, that's funny.
I think Eyesore was the last character whose mechanic I came up with for the first night, because by that point it felt like I'd covered all the bases with the other characters, and I didn't know what else to add that would maintain the balance of the mechanics. Most likely what led to me putting Eyesore in the door was the fond, eerie mental image of all those eyes staring at you from the darkness, and I'd say it serves as a nice extra incentive not to look at the security cameras for too long. The number one idea that I absolutely wanted to bring back from the cancelled one-week plans was a hectic night dedicated entirely to Flumpty with a dramatic shift in tone. Flumpty Night, as I call it, was the whole reason I wanted to make a third game in the first place, even 6 years ago. After all, Flumpty is the namesake of the series. He's immune to the plot, he can transcend time and space. He really should be the scariest character, and I did everything in my power to make that happen. The
And
end
you
result,
succeeded.
in my opinion, is even better than I'd always hoped it would be.
Exactly.
I'm glad I didn't design this night in the 1 week at Flumpty's days, because I've learned a lot, and I was able to capture exactly the mood I wanted back then, just with better gameplay that handles the room decorated with a bunch of glowing lines. The addition of the dinosaur is my friend's idea. This night,
What does that
room
say?
decorated with a bunch of glowing lines. The
It just sort of lazy spins around. That sounds kind of great, actually. I hastily modeled the dinosaur in Google SketchUp. Looks like something you would see on the Nintendo 64.
addition of the dinosaur is my friend's idea. This night combines a lot of new ideas with the best of the plans I had before, and it doubled as fan service, so that's great. It was cathartic, in particular, to animate the spider-legged Flumpty scampering through the vents, because that imagery had been in my head for years, and I was so eager to make it a reality that I'm pretty sure it's one of the first things I made when I got to work on Flumpty Night. I was also excited to make the jump scare, because Flumpty is more or less a reality-bending god of death.
Oh, so you would have gotten that on
So I wanted to make his jump scare look like a Lovecraftian nightmare. Beyond that, I
That is
really didn't
horrific.
go in with much of a plan. I just kept writing down ideas in a notebook and adding them along the way until it became utter chaos.
Before I really started brainstorming ideas for this game, I thought that maybe all the monsters could just be variations of Flumpty, just different Easter eggs.
Not gonna lie, I completely forgot I said this until people reminded me after the third game came out.
There was one idea
Coincidence.
I remember having for Flumpty Night that I didn't include, which was the idea that sometimes the game would randomly appear to lock up or reset or go back to the title screen, like the sanity effects in Eternal Darkness. But as quirky and fitting as that might sound on paper, in practice it would have disrupted the gameplay too much and quickly gotten annoying, so the only sanity effect I implemented was the heads-up display glitching out.
Huh.
the decision to compose an electro swing song for the end of the night came to me while I was listening to Caravan Palace. Go figure. I wanted to greatly outdo the little jingle in this second game while also making reference to it, and I actually thought it would lighten the mood at the end of the night, but after putting it in, I think it just made things more intense, which is even better. I think it wraps up all the mayhem in a nice little bow, and I'm very pleased with how it came out. Flumpty Night is really the climax of the game, and even though Hard-Boiled mode is meant to be the hardest of the 3 nights, I didn't go out of my way to make it the hardest challenge it possibly could be, because narratively it's the falling action, it's the farewell to the characters, and I wanted people to actually be able to beat the night and see the true ending. In Five Nights at Freddy's 3, which always felt like the proper ending of that series to me, the background music of the Shadow Bonnie minigame was a music box cover of a classical piece by Schubert, which in English basically translates to Swan Song No. 4, Serenade. I used that same music box theme in the cancellation video for the 1 Week at Flumpty's game years ago, and it felt appropriate to sort of call back to that for the bittersweet final night of the reasons the 1 Week at Flumpty's game crashed and burned is I was trying to force lore into a fan game series that I think actually benefits from not having any lore, so the story was not a focus in this one, but it does have just a little bit more story than the others, and I think it fits. It occurred to me that the goal of the player has always been to survive until 6 a.m., and technically, the Flumpty series has never ended a night on 6 a.m. The first game ended with ham, the second game ended with spam, but never 6. It also occurred to me that this series is called One Night at Flumpty's, and Flumpty is above the laws of time, so I could make the argument that every night in the series is the same one night being reset over and over again with different rules until 6 a.m. finally arrives and you're free. I was happy with that idea, and it resonated with me on a personal level as well, because in some ways, I've felt trapped with Flumpty and have been waiting for a feeling of release to move on to new things. The final shot of One Night at Flumpty's 3 is a callback to the image I used in the trailer for the first game, and it's the very same shot I had planned to end the 1 Week at Flumpty's game with. Incidentally, now that I've added a hard-boiled mode to the first game, it has 2 nights, the second game has 2 nights, and the third game has 3 nights. That adds up to 7 nights, which is 1 week. So, in an unexpected, roundabout way, we did get to spend 1 week at Flumpty's after all, and I was able to end it how I always wanted. If I'm being honest, in regards to both Flumpty's and the Fazbear Fanverse initiative, it feels like I have more negative memories than positive ones, and maybe that's just because the negative ones stand out more easily. I've felt torn about my relationship with these games, and I think all the Fanverse developers agree that the initiative could have been handled way better than it has been, with unclear communication being perhaps the biggest issue of all. But hopefully, since my games have been the first ones in the lineup, I've run into most of the major problems, and the experience will go more smoothly for the others. Major shout out, by the way, to Phil Morg, who is also part of the Fanverse developing FNAF Plus. I have no idea why Click Team was given the unreasonable task of porting multiple games that weren't made in their own software, but Phil came along and did all the remaining necessary work for the Flumpty ports. He made a stylish menu for the console bundle, and he even found and fixed a few minor glitches that slipped under the radar. I could not have asked for anyone better for the job, and he's frankly the sole reason Flumpty's 3 came out before the death of the universe, so I'm very thankful, very, very, very thankful for his help.
An additional shout out to Etches Sketchy, who is a good friend of mine, and also quite possibly the biggest Flumpty fan I've ever known. She has her own original characters who were initially inspired by the One Night at Flumpty's cast, but they're not even fan characters, they're her own distinct characters in her own world that she's creating, and that to me is even more flattering and cool, and she really made the release of the game more rewarding with her infectious enthusiasm.
I'd also, of course, like to thank Scott Cawthon for this opportunity. Even though there have been times when I've felt like I don't belong and maybe I shouldn't have joined the initiative at all, and there have been times when I've been confused and frustrated and likely difficult to work with, Scott has been patient with me. He's educated me on certain things and kept my best interest in mind the whole time. Ultimately, when all is said and done, I'm glad that I made One Night at Flumpty's. I'm glad that I joined the Fanverse, and I think through this initiative, Scott has made a lot of people's lives a little brighter. Yeah, this is pretty much where my relevance with the Fanverse ends, with the possible exception of merch in the future, although I still don't know whether that'll happen or not, so we'll see. My last Flumpty uploads will be the One Night at Flumpty's 3 soundtrack, and then I'll start a new journey. If you're still interested in Five Nights at Freddy's content, you won't be seeing it from me, but you will be seeing it with the other members in the Fanverse, so if that tickles your fancy, please buy their games when they come out. They're all cool people with wonderful creative skill, and they deserve your support. With that said, take care, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in whatever we do next.
Man, maybe some of you know what he got involved in, whatnot, but seeing him actually get better, and I'll explain what happened. Actually, so what happened was that one time, Fiznom, oh no, not Fiznom, my bad. I was thinking back to him because John Crow mentioned post for something bad, but or at least it seemed bad at first, like sorta, like it's a bit messy. What happened was he was in a relationship with someone that was quite young. It was exposed that he was in a relationship with someone that was very young, and what happened was that it turned out that thankfully there was nothing inappropriate going on there, and not only that, even the person that he was with there even defended him, stating that there was nothing bad that happened between them, and Jonachrome took accountability for his actions, what happened, and he seems to have really learned. And let me be clear, that does not make what he did better, but the fact he was involved in doing stuff like that, I personally have some hope for him, and I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of excited to see what he does next, because judging from what I've seen, he does deserve a second chance. Like, it does seem like he has learned. Like, he didn't try to excuse it or anything. He just said, well, what actually happened was nothing inappropriate happened there, but yeah, it was bad. I'm at least glad he held only himself accountable, personally. So I'm personally excited to see what he does next. Alright, with that out of the way, we'll now get into the thing we've been trying to get into. That fan build of 1 week at Flumpty's. Where is it at? Hello? Where is it at? Wait, hold on. What happened to it? I just dragged it onto the thing. Do I really have to try and download it again? Okay, how did that even happen with it? Come on, man. Or, wait. Actually, maybe I can look in my files. What happened? How was it removed? And why? Display on here. Okay, it won't even let me. So I think we're gonna have to run it like this. Come on, man. Please work. What? Hold on, let me close that down. See if that'll fix it. Did that fix? Hold on, did that fix it? Okay, I think that fixed it. For now, at least. Hold on, let's... Okay, yeah, the stream is still running. That's good. Now let's try and open it up again. Let's try again. Oh, wait, never mind. I was looking at the wrong... Never mind. We got the wrong thing. I've messed up again. We're supposed to get the extended demo one. That's my bad. Now, I have to wait for it to download again, because I thought I was getting the right thing when I actually wasn't. Okay, it's right now loading, so we'll be waiting a bit until it does that. We'll be waiting a bit for it to be done. So, yeah, that was honestly in my opinion on One Night at Flumpty's. I think it's possibly one of the top FNAF fan games out there. Like, it's honestly just so good. It feels like it's not taking itself too seriously, and you can see that. And I feel like that helps out a lot in the long run. And so we're gonna be waiting until the thing is... Enjoy the music. I'm not being silent. What do you mean being silent?
Hey, Austin.
Wait, hold on, wait, hold on. My bad, I had to check something. And hold on. What do you mean be silent? Hold on, I'm looking. Okay, let's round a bit. Okay. Okay, I have to... Well, Well, I actually might have to end the stream here though, because my roommate said that that he needs to be heading to like bed soon. So yeah, I think I'll probably be and actually yeah, I think I'll probably be just ending the stream here. So yeah, that's probably just what I'm gonna do. But anyways, I guess that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. It was a lot of fun. I might see if I can stream the fan-made build of 1 Week at Flunkies at some point, but that depends. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for coming to the night's stream. It was a lot of fun, even though we had a lot of hiccups. It was still a lot of fun. And yeah, I guess I'll check in with you guys next time. See you guys.